Start. So hello everyone, good morning to everybody. Hope you are doing well and your examination is going on. Just already you have seen that already the calendar has been passed by the SSC. So you can see that we have completed much more topics earlier. We have discussed about the some basic concepts about microeconomics, and also some we understood the basic terminologies of microeconomics, and also we have discussed about some parts of economics, and we are going to complete this chapter within 4 to 5 classes, right? So complete this topic, whole topic for economics we are going to discuss in just 4 to 5 classes. Then we'll start new topic. So in this session we are going to discuss about the theory of cost. So as you all know, we have discussed about the production function. If you talk about the producer behavior, role of producer, as I have already told you, total microeconomics distributed in three behaviors. The first one is consumer behavior, where you have to play a role as a consumer, where you need to have you need to think like as a consumer, where consumer thinks that what actually it means, where he will spend more money, where he will spend less money, right? So this all the things consumer do. So then we discuss about the producer behavior. In the producer behavior, we have studied about the production function, where we have studied that actual what is the relationship between producer, uh, relation between output and inputs. Whatever the inputs is applied by the producer, that will become as an output. So that we need to understand what actually it means, right? So we have discussed about the producer behavior also. So in this session we have discussed the how producer applied inputs to convert that inputs into the output. Now we are going to discuss about that on that inputs. You all know the producer incurred some cost, right? Now in this session we are going to discuss about the cost, right? So let's start the session. So first of all, we need to understand what do you mean by this cost. What do you mean by this cost? Cost means what? Nothing, just let's say this is accidented, this is accidented, and he is producing pen, manufacturing the pen, right? So for example, he produces 100 pens. He produces 100 pens. For the production of 100 pens, he incurred the many expenses like inputs, or you can say many factors like raw material, right? Labor, etc. These all inputs are done or converted into the outputs for that is pens. So after this doing these inputs, let's say you have you have spent 1000 rupees, 1000 rupees for the production of 100 pens. This 1000 rupees has been expended by you. It means what? This one is expended by you. It means whatever the cost, whatever the amount incurred on the production of output, that will be known as cost. It means what? 1000 rupees we have spent it, 1000 rupees we have spent it on the production of 100 pens, on the production of 100 pens. So we can say one pen cost is equals to, one pen cost is equals to, one pen is equals to cost, one pen cost equals to, that is 10, right? That is 10. It means what? We have, if you want to produce one pen, you have to spend 10 rupees. So this is what called cost. So we can write the one thing, we can write the one thing. Okay, let's just erase all the things. I hope I have cleared each and everything. So what do you mean by this cost? So you can write this definition: the amount, the total amount incurred on the production of goods and services by the producer. This is what called cost. This is what called cost. The total amount incurred on the production of goods and services by the producer. This is what called cost, right? So cost actually having two types. Cost actually having in terms of nature. If you talk about the in terms of nature, cost having the two types. The first one is what? The first one is what? Implicit cost. Implicit cost. And the second one is explicit cost. So first of all, you need to understand what do you mean by this implicit cost. Many of questions have been already asked in regards of this implicit cost. What actually it means, this implicit cost? Implicit cost is nothing, just it is a type of cost which actually doesn't occur. It doesn't incurred in the production of goods and services, but it still have some value. Let's say if I am a CA by nature, I am a CA by profession, right? And I am opening a company, and I have opened a company, and I am professionally I am a CA. So if I run a company, so what I need to think, why should I hire another CA for my company? If still I am a CA, so I can be responsible, I can accountable for making the all the accounting things of for my company, as like I say, because why should I need to spend more amount to another person for hiring another CA? If I am already a CA, I can do all the works which is done by the CA, right? So what I have to do, I would do the work of CA in my company as well, and I cannot give salary to me, but still I have a value of mine now. So this is what actually the meaning of implicit cost. Let's say you have a area, you want to open a business, and you want two options you are having. If you want to open a business, so first of all you need to have an area. After all, you can just purchase after all only it is possible to do the production or do want whatever you want. So whatever you want to do in a business, first of all you have some area where you can apply some machines, apply some laborers who can do work there, right? So first of all think this thing. Second option that you can, if you have already an area, that you are a owner of that area, already you have an area, so you don't need to buy or you don't need to pay rent on any area, right? You have already an area where you can open this business and utilize all the resources. So it means what, you never have to pay anyone as a rent to anybody. Why? Because you have already your own area. So you can conclude one thing: yes, this is your area, but still the value of area is there now. So whatever the value of that area, that is what implicit cost. Like I am a teacher of commerce. Let's say I'm a teacher of commerce. I can teach economics, accounts to 11, 12th students. So if my sister is already my sister has been already taken a commerce stream, so I can teach her. Obviously I can teach her. So if I hire another teacher for her, I have to pay some amount to that people, that teacher, right? But if I am already a teacher of commerce, so I can prefer myself to her. I can teach her to my sister. So this is what where sister will not pay to me, or I will not pay to me, but still have some my value now. So whatever the value of mine, whatever the cost of mine, which is doesn't occur actually, that cost is known as implicit cost. Hope so I have given 2 to 3 examples, and by the given of these 2 to 3 examples, you have understood each and everything in a very easy manner what actually it means of implicit cost. Am I clear? So implicit cost is what? Cost incurred by yourself, right? Now another is what? Explicit cost. Explicit cost. This cost is actually external cost. Explicit cost. Whatever we study, this actually means we study about the explicit costs. We study about the explicit cost always. What do you mean by this explicit cost? Explicit cost. X means what? External. Here you need to understand EX means external. External means what? Where you do the payments outside your business. Like if you want to produce a marker, you have to have some labor, you have to have some machine, you have to have some raw material, you have to some many factors inputs. By the use of these factors, you make this marker, you can produce this marker, and after all you have to do payments to them also. If you hired a worker, if you have hired a labor, you have to pay something to the labor, like in terms of salary, wages. If you if you have purchased a raw material, you have to you have to pay some amount to buy the for the purchase of raw material. So it means you need to understand one thing: whatever you are spending, whatever you are spending to another person, or you can say whatever the payment you are doing to the another person, so that actually happens in explicit cost. Whatever the amount you are paying, that actually becomes into the explicit cost. It means any cost which is incurred for the external use, or you can say you are doing any payment to the external person, that actually, or you can say in a market, that actually cost incurs called explicit cost. Am I clear to everyone? Let me know if I am clear to everybody. Hmm? So what do you mean by this explicit cost? Cost incurred outside outside for the payment, right? So this is what called explicit cost. Explicit cost means what? External cost. This is what? Internal cost. This is what called internal cost. This is called self-imputed cost. This is also called self-imputed cost. You can write this self-imputed cost. Self-imputed cost. This is also called self-imputed cost. Clear? So that you need to understand, right? Now the secondly, you need to understand one thing, that you have studied about the theory of cost. Now you need to understand the what are types of cost. So first, that you need to understand types of cost. Types of cost. सबसे first one is what? Total cost. What do you mean by this total cost? First of all, I need to total fixed cost. The first one is what? Total fixed cost. The word itself indicating that any cost which is fixed all the time, all the level of output. This is what called fixed cost. The word itself is indicating the actual meaning of this total fixed cost. Let's try to understand with an example. Let's say if you want to open a business, you need to have some area, you need to have some building, you need to have some machines, then only it is possible to manufacture of this marker. It means what? You have some fixed area, you have some fixed machine. It means what? You have already spended on these items, on these equipments, on these parts. You didn't produce any marker, still you didn't produce. Let's say if I purchase an area, so I can say marker has been produced, still not. If I have purchased a machine, I can say can I say I have produced a marker? No. So marker didn't produced, still the expenditure has been done. So it means what? Anything which has been done and it is fixed for all the time for the production of goods and services. It means what? Let's say if you have purchased an area, you have purchased a machine, you have planted any, let's say any furniture. So this means what? You have to do that something new in terms of labor. Now you will hire labor, you will purchase raw material, and that labor use that machine, that labor use that raw material to produce that marker. Now actually the worker now the actually thing has been produced. You have studied about the in production function. I have already told you about the factors. That is, first one is fixed factor, another one is variable factor, right? So what was the fixed factor, which is always fixed all the time for the production of goods and services, right? So that actually what called fixed factors. That actually what called fixed factor. The cost incurred on the fixed factor is called fixed cost, total fixed cost. The cost, total cost incurred on the fixed factors are called total fixed cost. Let's say example, you can write machines, building, land, etc. This is what called fixed cost. This is always fixed at every level of output. You do not have to change every time. You do not have to change every time, right? Next, this is what called total variable cost. Now you need to understand what does it mean, total variable cost. What do you mean to say, sir? Total variable cost, which is actually incurred on the variable factor. What was the variable factor? Which changes as the level of output changes. If you want to produce more, let's say if you want to produce more, you have to spend more, right? You have to change more variables factors. You have to hire more labor. You have to purchase more raw material if you want to increase the product level of production. It means what? The level of production changes, it will change the variable factors also. It will change in the cost also, right? So whatever the cost incurred on the variable factors, whatever the expenditure done on the variable factors, it is called as what? Total variable cost. Am I clear to everyone or not? So what is the total variable cost? Total expenditure, or you can say total cost incurred on the variable factor. Now you need to understand what actually it means, the meaning of variable factor. What do you mean by this variable factors? Variable factor which vary at every level of output. As the level of output changes, it also changes. It means what? If variable factors like what? Example, labor. Usually we take labor, raw materials, etc. So which changes the level of output. As we all know, if I just ask to you what actually the meaning of total fixed cost and variable factor. So total fixed cost always fixed at the every level of output. Still you didn't produce anything, still you have to spend something, right? If you if I want to open a business, at the initial level you will not get the output, but still you have to spend some amount. That amount you are spending at the initial level, that always be fixed for all the time. So it means that will always fixed for the all the time. It means what? You cannot change it every time. If you want to produce more of goods and services, is there any possibility that you will change by time as you are changing the level of output? Never, it is possible, not, right? So fixed cost means what? That will be always fixed. That will be always fixed. As the level of output changes, that cost will not change. That cost will not change. So this cost actually means the fixed cost. Have you got my point? What I am saying? So this is what called fixed cost. And total variable cost means what? Which actually vary as the level of output changes. Vary means what? Variable means what? Which changes. As if you want to increase the level of output, you have to hire some labor more, you have to hire some more labor, you have to purchase some more raw materials, right? So if you are purchasing more raw materials, you are hiring more labor, then you have to pay some amount to them now also. So whatever the extra amount you are paying to them, whatever the extra thing you are paying to them, that actually incurred in the cost, in terms of cost. So why it is happening? Because you are changing the level of output. So we can conclude one thing, that as the level of output changes, you had more variable factor, or you can say there must be you can see the change in the variable factor. And if you are seeing the change in the variable factor, it means you have to change in the variable cost also. So this is what called total fixed cost and total variable cost. Now what do you mean by this total cost? What do you mean by this total cost? Have you got my point? What I just explained you all. So next, this is what called total cost. So you have purchased in machinery. Now you have hired and labor. And by the mix of this variable cost, by the mix of this fixed cost, a fixed factor and variable factor, then possible combining of these two factors, then it is possible to produce any goods and services. It means what? Cost incurred on the fixed factors, that is fixed cost. Cost incurred on the variable factor, this is variable cost. Now you are combining this fixed cost and variable cost. Now this sum of total fixed cost and total variable cost will be equal to the total cost. It means what? Total cost is what? Total expenditure incurred on the production of goods and services, which is combining of fixed factor and the fixed cost and the variable cost. Am I clear to everyone? So here you can see one thing, you can write one thing, that total amount incurred on the production of goods and services. And we can write one thing here, total cost means what? We can write here one thing, that total cost means what? Total fixed cost, total fixed cost plus total variable cost. Variable cost, right? So we can write in short form that TC is equals to TFC plus TVC, and TFC is always fixed at the every level of output. So this is what called TFC plus TVC is what called total cost. Clear to everyone? Just note it down fast. Then let's move to the another topic. Just note it down fast about the total cost and total value. So we have understood these basic concepts of total theory of cost. Now we need to understand as I have already told you, the meaning of marginal. So this word marginal will be included in the whole of economics. So you have to understand deeply this word marginal. So as I've already explained you many times, what is the meaning of marginal? So here also you need to understand the meaning of marginal. Now you need to understand that marginal cost. Marginal cost. What do you mean this marginal cost? As you all know, marginal cost means what? Whatever the amount incurred on the addition. Margin means what? Additional. There is a gap, change. If you talk about this marginal word, this means what? Additional. Anything which you are doing any addition to anything, or you can say there is a gap, or you can say doing any change, right? So this is what called marginal. So what do you mean by this marginal word? And marginal cost means any additional cost occurring, any additional expenditure on occurring, like let's say if you are producing 100 units, right? If you are producing 100 units and it costs 1000 rupees, 1000 rupees, 1000 rupees, right? If you are producing 100 units, it costs 1000 rupees. Now if you want to produce one additional unit, let's say 101, Means if you want to produce one additional unit, you have to spend some more amount. Let's say it becomes 1100. Let's say it becomes 1100 for 101 units. So whatever the total amount incurred on the production of total goods and services, total output, that will be included. That is what, 1,000 rupees. But if you talk about whatever the total amount incurred on the 101, that will also be called total cost, that is 1100. But if I ask to you whatever the amount incurred on the one additional unit that you have produced, so if you are producing one additional unit, just one additional unit, so whatever the amount incurred on the this one additional units, that is 100, that is 100. How you have calculated this 100 rupees? You just subtracted 1100 from the 1000, right? 1100 from this 1000. Let's say if this is TC1, TCN, so you have subtracted TCN, TCN minus 1. You have subtracted TCN from the TCN minus you have subtracted TCN minus 1 from TCN. TC means what? Total cost. So that is only it is possible to find out this 100 rupees. So if I ask to you whatever the what is, so whatever the amount incurred on this additional part of production that you have done, that will be called as, that 100 rupees will be called as what? Marginal cost. So marginal means what? Additional. Whatever the amount that you have expended, or you can say expended, that on the additional production, one additional production, that will be included in the marginal cost. Have you got my point? So first of all, we will write this write the definition of marginal cost, then we'll try to find out the formula of this marginal cost. So first of all, if you write the definition of marginal cost, then what we can write? Additional cost incurred on the production of an additional unit. Additional unit. That is what called marginal cost. So here you need to understand one thing, how you could find out that this the formula of marginal cost. If I ask to you that how it is possible that you have find out the formula of this MC. So MC means was marginal cost. How you have find out that formula? That TCN minus TC and minus TCN minus 1. We have applied this formula, TCN minus TCN minus 1. So you have applied this formula and you just got your answer. Am I clear to everyone? Write it down fast. So TCN minus TCN minus 1. So this is the formula of MC, marginal cost. This is the formula of MC, marginal cost. Right? So you have understood these all the things that I have explained you all. Now, first of all, note it down. Then I just explained another thing. So that we understood everything. What is the meaning of margin cost? What is the meaning of total cost? What is the meaning of another cost? Now we need to understand. Now we need to understand the meaning of average costs, right? First of all, you need to understand meaning of average fixed cost. Average fixed cost. What actually it means? What do you mean by this average fixed cost? As I've already told you, if you are anything you are doing, anything you are incurring from any cost, so it means what? If you want to find an average, so it means what? You are going to find out the additional part, or you can say no, sorry, not additional part, that we have already done in the marginal cost. If you want to find out for cost for only one output, if you want to find out the cost of only one output, it means what? That actually becomes the average cost, that is average cost. But here what has been written? Fixed cost. It means what? If you want to find out the whatever the fixed cost incurred on the production of one good. Let's say if you have spent 1,000 rupees, 1,000 rupees, that is fixed cost. That is, you purchased a machine for 1,000 rupees. Let's say you have purchased a machine that is 1,000 rupees. It means what? Machine is what? Fixed cost, fixed factor. You have purchased a machine for 1,000 rupees. It means what? You have 1,000 rupees of expenditure as a fixed cost. And in 1,000 rupees of fixed cost, you have produced 100 units. You have produced 100 units. Now you have produced 100 units of output by the using of total fixed cost of rupees 1,000 rupees. Now if I ask to you that what amount of fixed cost you have spent on the production of one unit, so what you will do? You will do what? You will divide this 1,000 from 100. Now you are getting this 10. So it means what? You are getting this 10. It means what? From if you want to produce one unit, you have to spend 10 rupees. You have to spend 10 rupees. It means what? Whatever the cost incurred, that is what? AFC. So if you want to find out the one unit of any cost, if you are finding the fixed cost of one unit, this is average fixed cost, that will be average fixed cost. If you are finding out the variable cost of, that is average variable cost. If you are finding the total cost of one unit, that is what? Average cost, right? So this is all about total average fixed cost. Hope you have understood. Now I can conclude one thing, that average fixed cost means what? Total cost incurred on one unit. Right here, fixed cost incurred on the of production of one unit. This is production of one unit of goods, one unit of good. That is called fixed cost. That is called average fixed cost. How you can find out the average fixed cost? You can write the formula of this average fixed cost, that AFC is equals to TFC upon Q. TFC upon Q. What do you mean to say? TFC means total fixed cost. Q means what? Q means what? Q means what? Total output. total output that you have produced. That total output will be as a Q quantity, and TFC means what? Total fixed cost. Have you got my point or not? Have you got my point or not? So this is what called average fixed cost. Now, if we talk about the average variable cost, average variable cost. What do you mean to say this average variable cost? Average variable cost means whatever the total cost incurred on the one unit of production. As you have understood, the total amount of fixed cost incurred on the production of one unit, you are finding the one unit, that is the average fixed cost. Here average variable cost, whatever the total amount of variable cost incurred on the production of one units. This is what called average variable cost. Have you got the point? So what you can write here, you can write one thing, that variable cost incurred on the production of one unit. So this is what called average cost, average variable cost. This is what called average variable cost, and you can write this formula of this average variable cost, what? AVC. 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 This is TVC upon Q. This is TVC upon Q. TVC upon Q. TVC upon Q means what? Total variable cost upon my quantity. Total variable cost upon quantity. Am I clear to everyone? So this is what we have to understand. This is what called average variable cost. This is what called average fixed cost. Now total, if you add this total average cost and total average variable cost, that will become average cost. That will become average cost, right? So what is average cost? You can write. Now you have to understand what is average cost. So what is this average cost? Average cost in short form. First of all, if you definition, total cost incurred on the production of one unit. This is what called average cost. So you can write the formula of this average cost. AC is equals to TC, or sorry, AC is equals to, you can write two formula. First of all, what? TC upon Q. The first one is this one. Second one is, or second, the formula you can write AC is equals to AFC plus ABC. AFC plus ABC. It means what? Whatever the total amount of fixed cost, or whatever the total amount of variable cost of average incurred, if you sum all the average variable cost, all the average fixed cost, that will be considered as a average cost. Have you got my point? Just note it down fast. Okay, so this is what about today's class. So in this session we have discussed about theory of cost, what is the meaning of cost. Then we have discussed the types of cost. First of all, we have discussed the implicit cost and explicit cost. It means the nature of cost. Then we discuss about the total cost. Then we discuss about the types of cost in average fixed cost, average variable cost, marginal cost, total fixed cost, total variable cost, total cost, and average cost. That is total. That is the total concept that we have discussed in this session. Hope so you have enjoyed this session and you understood all the things that I have delivered to you all. Now I just want to introduce one thing, that if anybody is preparing for any examination, you can join my session for if you are preparing for any examination for GS Economics, and you can join my Telegram channel also. You can join my Telegram channel also. That is what you can join my Telegram channel also. Abhishek Sir Official. Abhishek Sir Official. Abhishek Sir Official. This is my Telegram channel. This is my Telegram channel. You can join this channel and you can get all the notes, all the PDF, all the classes notification for current affair daily. I am taking it now 9 a.m. on Bankers Ground. So also you can prepare from this session also, right? So you are getting all the things at one stop, one route. So I hope you will join this channel and give a boost in your education and your knowledge. Okay, so let's meet you in the next class. Thank you so much, you all. Thank you so much. Take care. Jai Hind.